This is a podcast about just opinions.
Hey, yo, this is what it is. This is what I think.
We all have kind of outlandish takes.
Like, don't at me.
If there's other free-form stuff that comes with it, we cover that too.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.
Yeah, we good.
Man, it took forever to get this shit working, but we finally got it working. We got our boy with us, Jamal. Don't at me. What's good?
What's up, y'all?
All right, so we've been trying something new lately where we just jump right into the docket. And I actually have a pretty full docket. Last week, I feel like we were kind of underprepared. Is that safe to say?
I didn't have no docket last week.
We really didn't have much at all, and I was just kind of like robots.
Yeah.
We got into robots and cyborgs.
You getting a hole with that one.
Yeah. So this week, I actually have a lot of shit. I'm just going to jump right in. It's football season, so everybody's talking about their fantasy football leagues. And I couldn't be happier because I haven't played fantasy in like 3 or 4 years.
You've picked it back up?
No.
No.
I'm so happy to not be playing it. It's really just a formal way. It's a game that a bunch of men created just to be like, I told you so. Right? I mean, because think about it. You go through the whole process of drafting people and, you know, oh, my team is better than yours and I just want to win and da-da-da-da-da. Really just so at the end of the year you could be the champion and be like, I told you so.
Yeah.
Right? That's stupid to me.
That's what it seemed. I mean, it just seemed like some shit you just kind of like just sign up and do for fun. You know what I mean? Like nothing.
Here's why I like fantasy football. Abstinence is the way to go because I don't have any conflict of interest now when I watch. Like I don't have to worry about, oh, well, I know he's playing against my team, but I need this guy to go off. I don't like dealing with that. I don't like somebody's injured and then it's a game time decision and you don't know if they're going to play until like 11:57 and then all of a sudden you're like, shit, I got 3 minutes to change this.
Well, see, that was my problem with it is it took too much work. So it was fun at first when you did the draft and then you did the first 3 or 4 weeks, but then I would lose focus and not pay attention to the injuries and stuff, and then everybody would beat me and I'd be like, this is not fun at all.
It's like a job. And the funny thing is I've had other people ask, hey, do you want to get into fantasy baseball or basketball? Hell no. There is so much that goes into that. Like, you have to be paying so much attention. It's nuts.
Have you done?
Yeah, I couldn't do that shit at all.
I did fantasy basketball one time, and it literally is because basketball there's a couple games a week, so every other day you have to go and change the roster, update it, and if I couldn't do the football, and that was once a week, I can't do the basketball, man.
That's too much, man. Well, you know, while we have you, I think it's probably good, you know, we could do it kind of like how when we had Antonio, talk about recent changes and stuff like that, right? So
Yeah, what's been going on?
you got, you know, new lifestyle, new gig and all that kind of stuff. Like, what is that process like just going to a new job? I mean, obviously, I've been at the same place almost 8 years now, so I really don't have any kind of sample size of that.
Yeah, I mean, especially because the last place I was at was for 7 years, so you get a pretty good routine. And I like it, man. It's new. It's you're doing things you didn't do in your other job, so it's challenging. And I think that's like a big part of life, right? You always want to do something that's challenging, whether it's in your job, whether it's exercise, whether it's mentally doing something that's going to make you grow. I think is always good in life. Otherwise, you get bored. You know what I mean?
Right.
Complacency.
Yeah, complacency.
Complacency is like the biggest concern. I guess when you go to a new gig, it's kind of like you're almost going from being the master and like the teacher to now you're the student again.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And then this is kind of a different industry of I went from doing digital marketing to now doing more of like working for an ad agency and the marketing behind that. So it's like it's using things I already know, but then learning a whole tool of new different things for marketing. So, but I like it. It's been fun, and it's only been like 2 months now. But the things I do miss are things like friends that I work with, best friends that I work with.
Friends.
I know. And then my new job, when I go to lunch, I tell them I go to a coffee shop with you just to sit for an hour, and they're like, you don't buy coffee, you just sit with him. I go, yeah, it's like a thing.
We're friends. But like that's the kind of shit we're doing right now. It's like we're just
Yeah.
kind of hanging out here. It's just a local place,
Yeah.
or public place rather to hang out.
Yeah, and the place where we work at is like Northwest Houston, and we've done literally every single thing you can do during lunch at like any of the stores. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
What
it's
the
like,
fuck is that? Like Salada and fucking like
They have a
Potbelly
Panera?
the next day. Panera. I knew you was gonna say Panera.
that's part of the reason why I go there all the time is because there's really nothing else out there. So they got Panera right there. There's a Starbucks that's like 20 minutes. It's really like 2 miles, but because of the construction and you never know what the hell they're doing on 290, it's like 20 minutes.
Fuck that shit.
Exactly. So like, or
Yeah.
Target, or like Walmart. Like, hey, I need to get paper towels for the house. Let's go to Walmart.
Yeah, and we would go to K&J Suits, walk around there, and we go to there's an aquarium place we've been to.
Lane Bryant.
Yeah, which I like try on the suits and shit. Like have like a montage and shit.
Nah,
like
they
Pretty
had some-
Woman.
They had some Calvin Murphy shit though in there.
Word.
Yeah, that's like all they
should
had.
have copped that shit.
K&J.
That's like all they had.
Calvin Murphy suits. Hell yeah, I'll rock that shit.
Calvin Murphy, one of the places that does his suits is right here at Memorial City Mall. Because when I pass by it, they have a couple posters of him in their suits. Because he was on last night and he was wearing one of those gold jackets. And my friend was like, "What is that? Is that his thing?" I was like,
Hey,
"Man."
y'all remember those things they used to sell on TV called fat heads?
Yeah.
Like the things you put on your wall and shit?
Yeah.
Y'all, I want like a Calvin Murphy one, like a Tupac one, like a
Yeah,
bunch of
Calvin
them. Like,
Murphy.
You know what I mean?
You want
Like,
Calvin
put 'em on-
Murphy playing basketball or Calvin Murphy in
Nah,
a suit?
nigga in a suit just chilling. Like, you know what I'm saying? Courtside.
How would you be weirded out if you saw him just wearing like a standard black suit, white
Like
shirt?
a hoodie?
No, like a normal suit, like a regular suit.
Oh, nah, yeah, I'd be kind of sad because it'd
You, like,
probably
worried?
be like his funeral or some shit.
His funeral.
That's the only time. That's not gonna happen. They're gonna put him in. Like
Oh,
the
nah, that
gaudiest
nigga gonna
shit
have like
ever.
a fucking. He gonna look like
Gold-plated.
he gonna look like Silver Kanye.
Silver Kanye. Have you seen the Silver Kanye?
No, what is that?
What?
All right, I'm gonna pull
Kanye
it up while
went
you're
like-
talking about it. Make your point, and then or what you're gonna say, and then in the meantime, I'm gonna look this up.
I was gonna say, well, during that game we were watching it, and my boss is from Seattle, and he was watching, and he saw he didn't know anything about Kevin Murphy, and I was like, man, he's
Really?
a Hall of Famer, man, not just Rockets Hall of Famer, isn't he an NBA Hall of Famer?
I think is he a
Yeah,
Hall of Famer?
I
He's at
think I
least
held
like a legend.
I think I held like some records and shit for a while, right?
Oh, you guys, oh, maybe I'm wrong. I thought he was in the Hall of Fame.
No, I'm pretty sure he is.
I can look that up while you're looking at Silver Kanye. So I really don't know the story behind this. Do you know the story behind it?
Nah, not at all. I just seen that shit just
Aight.
died laughing, man. That
So
shit
this was
funny
like
as
last
fuck.
week.
What is as a person?
That's
That's
Kanye,
Kanye West.
West, nigga.
Well, he's painted himself.
That nigga
Yeah.
look like
What?
bro.
The
He looked like
Tin
an
Man.
extra in a Missy Elliott video, bro.
With the suit on, it looks like a like one of those sauna suits.
Bro, what,
Yeah, that you like
what
fucking
was that
just.
for?
I don't
I
know,
have
man.
no
That
idea.
nigga wildin' though.
Well, they said he did like the opera. All right, I'm gonna look at the story now. Yeah, they said look all the Tin Man
yeah.
jokes, yada yada yada. At his recent Sunday service performance of his nativity-themed opera Mary at Miami Marine Stadium, Kanye decided to arrive fully donned in silver from his robes to his skin. No word if Kirk Franklin arrived in gold to complete the package.
What?
Yeah,
What?
so
Where that article came from?
that's TMZ. You can kind of tell from like the hey, yeah, like
How they
kinda
wrote that
sound
shit?
to it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Like
'cause
the
I was
voice.
yeah, what the fuck?
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like
Kanye
sometimes
wild,
he does
man.
stuff that I'm like,
Yo,
that
y'all
one
remember
missed
when
me.
it was like gold CeeLo?
Oh yeah,
Y'all remember gold CeeLo, yo?
He looked like a
That
little.
nigga should fight.
Hey, he looked like he was shaped like a Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah, no, straight up. Like his head looked exactly like one of them motherfuckers.
Because it's
bro.
round, wearing all gold, right?
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. That was good.
Ferrero
That was
Rocher.
good.
That
Yo,
was off the
CeeLo
dome,
go
too.
hard.
See, look, he used to.
I think he's doing hard time now, though, isn't he?
Is he?
CeeLo?
Didn't he get arrested for drugging and trying to?
I think he did something weird, right?
Yeah, he like they were.
Damn.
I think he got
Everybody
arrested
weird
for
out
it though
here.
too for giving her like the roofie. CeeLo.
Word?
I
That
do
nigga nasty.
remember. Hold on, let me see. CeeLo. All right, this is how we're breaking the news. Now it's a newscast.
Nah, yeah. I mean, this is fun.
I know.
Yo, you got an Arnold Schwarzenegger book?
Hell yeah, that's like. Do you have that book, Mike?
I don't. Which one is it?
It's the encyclopedia of bodybuilding.
Oh, is
So
that the
they're
one?
I got it like when I was in high school, and it was showing you like that you don't just do bench press and stuff. It gave you all exercise, and I was like, I didn't know there was this much when it came to exercise.
Yeah, it should be a books where it's just like people's quotes. You know what I mean? Like so you could just read them and shit. Like that shit would be mad fun. Like a
I think it'd be a good
Schwarzenegger-
coffee book, right? Like or a good coffee table book.
Yeah, like that would be funny. Like Dylan, you son of a bitch.
No, I think the best one was the one that you showed me from the documentary when he was.
Pumping iron.
Yeah, and what was his boy's name? The one he was like.
Franco Colombo. That was like his little buddy, and it was funny because Arnold won like there was like a large and a small division. Arnold always won the large division. Franco always won the small division, and then there was an overall competition, and Arnold always beat him in that one. And but it was funny because it was like his best friend, but also he had like a quote where he basically said that he would give his friend Franco the wrong advices, and he was like he's just a kid. I give him the wrong advices, but it was so funny because he knew his friend was going to watch that movie. You know what I'm saying? Like he was basically saying that he tricks his best friend all the time. But that movie has it's full of quotes, a lot of famous quotes from him.
Yeah. Yeah,
some
like,
of the-
what did he say? Working out is like coming to me.
Yeah, he said like working out is the same feeling of coming. So he said when he gets that pump, and so he said, think about it. All day, all night, I'm coming all day. And the reporter's like, well, yeah.
Hey, Arnold, wow, man.
It was
I think one
wild.
of the
This is
best-
before his movie career. So it was like when he was like at the he won like his 5th Mr. Olympia. He beat not Franco Colombo, the Incredible Hulk.
Lou
Lou
Ferrigno.
Ferrigno,
He
yeah.
was talking shit on him the whole thing.
He was saying how he was dumb and stuff, and then and it's also a famous movie because he smokes a joint at the end of the movie while he's eating cake in the green room. And this guy was governor of California, and you're like, this guy's done it all, man.
Man,
Yeah.
like I don't put nothing past like any like old person nowadays. Like the motherfuckers came up like through the 70s and shit, bro. Like shit was mad wild then. You think shit wild now, man? Like fucking late 60s, early 70s.
Oh yeah, man.
Shit was like stupid crazy, man. Like just people out there just giving the cheeks, man. Motherfucking
tossing them.
yeah,
Clapping
Who's
cheeks.
Austin Powers out here smashing. hoes and
Arnold,
shit.
I think Arnold was a fiend for it too, because I mean, he did his house, his cleaner or whatever,
She
Yeah.
was not.
and she was not.
Trying to go back to my theory about like celebrity, like how they life, like you know what I'm saying. Like, come on, if you got a cleaner, you got to be clapping them cheeks, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Clap them back. Clap them back.
you paying her already. You know what I mean?
Standing ovation.
Like,
So the funny thing, like the documentary forum, like that actual, media or whatever. What I like is having like a good interviewer. That I like the back and forth. It's almost like a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Where you hear the question, you see the person kind of thinking about it, and it's not just cupcake questions. It's like sometimes like tough questions are ones that they actually have to think about, right?
Is there somebody that comes to mind when you think of a good interview person?
I think Joe Rogan's really good at interviewing people. I think he does a really good job of getting guests to open up by asking questions. I think Bill Simmons does it pretty well.
you like DMT?
Yeah.
You know who does it? One of the old folks who did it was Rose Chip. You know what I'm talking about? He had that late night show on PBS where he did the interviews. He ended up getting on a Me Too. They got him
I
on the Me
think,
Too.
yeah,
but,
now that you say that, like I had a face come to mind, and that was like the first thing I thought of.
super. He had
Charlie Rose,
Charlie
maybe?
Rose, yeah, exactly. And he was a really good interview host. His show was
Yeah,
very
Charlie
popular.
Rose. We're
Yeah.
talking about a lot of like weird. The CeeLo thing, by the way, they said he he apparently his defense. So he pled no contest to a rape charge, and so the singer CeeLo Green has
got my
discussed a
nigga
court
CeeLo.
case in which he pled no contest to supplying ecstasy to a woman, in series of tweets, including one that read, "People who have really been raped remember." His argument was it's not rape if the victim is unconscious, basically.
Wait, what? Nah, that's a wild shit. Hold on.
I don't know what happened with it.
CeeLo, the best part about that is he said that thinking it was a good argument. You know what I mean?
No, nah.
Like, come on.
He's like, "Am I right?"
He's looking at the judge.
Come on, guys.
He's winking at the judge and shit. Come on, Charlie.
You know. You know.
But no, so interviews. The reason why I mentioned that, one of the funniest interviews I've ever seen was when R. Kelly had. I mean, all R. Kelly interviews are hilarious.
Oh, for sure.
Like the most recent one.
That
You're
nigga's funny.
killing me out here. Whatever he
He
said,
just like that nigga, man.
that one was good. But also, I like the one where that guy, I forget his name, with the fuzzy hair, the big hair. You know who I'm talking about, Chance. Toure, yeah.
Yeah.
He was asking him about, what do you say to people that say that you are, I'll play the clip. What do you say that to people that think that, you're interested in teen girls? Are you interested in teenage girls? He goes,
when you say teen,
how old are we talking?
yeah.
And the dude's face just drops like it's like a live, like MTV interview, I think. So he goes, are you interested in teenage girls? He goes,
That's actually
well,
a
you say
valid
teenage.
question, though.
It is,
It's
but
a
like,
valid question. Like,
I mean,
like,
18 and 19,
yeah,
but
if
like,
you think about it, like,
here's my thing
he's
though.
Right.
Here's my thing though. So like, let's say when you're a kid and you
Oh,
go
my
and
God.
like you take the last cookie out of the cookie jar, right? And then your parents are like, "Who ate the last cookies?" You're not gonna say like,
Barney come out.
"Well,
and
wait,
sing that
which
song.
cookies? Which cookies are we talking?" You're gonna be like, I didn't know about any cookies. I'm not. Look, I'm just saying. I don't know what he did. I mean, I think we could all guess what he did, but like, maybe he wanted to get caught because that's the
Yo.
kind of response somebody that wants to get caught.
Yo, you think this is like a cry for help?
Maybe. I mean, that's what
Because
everybody
like this
says.
shit has like been going on for like a long time, bro. Like
They all say like he's
I would
sick,
say,
he needs help.
I mean, I would say this shit has been going on for like almost a good over 15 years.
Well,
You
that's
know
what his
I'm saying?
boy said. I forget his name now. You might remember, but he said
And he
that
was married to Aaliyah like 20 years ago.
he created a fake ID for Aaliyah.
She was
So they can go
14,
get married.
Yeah. She was 14 when he married her. And that
Man,
it
nigga,
was like-
extra nasty.
But that was before social media. That was before like the 24/7 news.
Yeah.
You
craze.
know
So
he
when
was
they-
spanking her too, man.
Yeah, when he got married to her, nobody really. That wasn't like it might have been in a magazine or two. You know what I mean? No one really knew about it.
The tabloids that
crazy
like
thing.
nobody believes and shit.
That's the crazy thing
Yo,
about like news
yo,
and
ain't it
all
wild that
that
like
fast.
TMZ is like one of those publications, like National Enquirer and shit like that? It's just like social media, you know?
Basically, yeah.
But it's like right there in your face, so they'll ask them about it and shit.
Oh, they're always in your face. So speaking of, did y'all hear about the guy? Do It for State, that social media account.
Yeah.
So I saw a story. On December 9th, they released the news. He apparently got arrested. Somebody took the domain name doitforstate.com. And he was trying to get the guy to give him the domain. Because he had like an Instagram account. It's basically the girls showing their nanas and stuff.
Yeah, like girls putting on their butt cheeks, the stickers and stuff like that.
Yeah, Do It For State. You've seen
I've
those.
seen those.
So
Once.
he was one time.
Yeah.
So he was looking for he's looking for the guy that has the domain, right? And he's
Yeah.
like, "Look, can you give it to me?" The guy refused. So this is where shit gets weird. Hopkins, his name's Hopkins. So he went over and basically, I'm going to try to find the beginning of the story. Adam decided that if the unnamed owner of doitforstate.com didn't want to sell, he would make him. So, enlisting the help of his cousin, they drove to the owner's house with that goal. Hopkins entered the victim's home in Cedar Rapids. He was carrying a cell phone, a stolen gun, a taser, and he was wearing a hat, pantyhose on his head, and dark sunglasses on his face. He provided him with instructions that, with the assistance of a gun to the side of the owner's head, he hoped would convince the man to transfer ownership to him. It didn't exactly work out that way. The press release explains what happened after Hopkins broke into the house, kicked the bedroom door down to reveal the hiding victim, and then dragged him to his computer. Put the firearm against the victim's head and ordered him to follow directions on the demand note. He then pistol whipped him in the head several times. Fearing for his life, the victim quickly turned and moved the gun away from his head. Victim managed to gain control of the gun, but during the struggle, was shot in the leg. The victim shot Hopkins multiple times in the chest. He then contacted law enforcement.
He killed him?
Hopkins did not die, was sentenced to 20 years in jail in 2018.
Yo, what?
This story
What
just
the
like snuck
What
under the radar.
Fuck made him thought he could get away with that shit.
So I want to understand the thought process, because let's say that he did.
It wasn't
succeed.
one.
Let's say he succeeded and he transferred ownership. Then what? Hey, this guy just put a gun to my head and made me sell him this. Like,
It definitely isn't someone who's looking at the long-term consequences.
it's
I mean,
ego at that point.
if
probably. It's
If
probably
he could
ego
have
at that
been,
point.
if he would have been smart about it and like didn't do all that shit, he probably could have got away with that shit. Because it's like, how, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, like, or just paid him.
I also
I'm
say,
pretty
how,
sure
We tried to
this nigga
pay
make-
him, but he refused.
how much do you think he? How much do you think he?
He didn't try to pay him enough.
Yeah, how much do you think he?
He's trying to get like $250. Come on, man. You're really playing hardball.
Nah, for him to go to that length of dumb bullshit to try to get it back, yeah, like I could see him offering $250, bro. But like, yo, got this $250 for you. You know what I'm saying? Niggas like, nah, fam. Like, give me
Did
10
his cousin?
racks.
Did his cousin come with him? Did they say
I
what
think he
happened
just
to his cousin?
consulted him. Like,
He
this
just
was-
gave
Yo,
him
this what you
advice.
gotta do,
Hey,
fam.
what you
he
need
gave
to
him the
do.
wrong advices.
That nigga was, his cousin was 8-Ball from Grand Theft Auto 3.
Hell yeah. Hey,
fuck?
so you went out with Alan last night?
Nah, the night before last night.
Hey, so give us detail. I want to hear how this came together, because we weren't invited, which is fine. I actually like.
Oh,
when y'all
well, like
all
y'all
do
don't live in
shit.
the loop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, I get. Look, when the Avengers do shit without
Loop
me, that's
life.
fine. Tony
Uh,
Stark has to do his side missions too.
Well, I mean, yeah, we all do.
But
shit,
tell me though,
but-
like how y'all?
Well, so it was pretty dope. Like, I think the show started at like 7:30, 7:45, something like that.
it was an open mic.
Yeah, it's an open mic. I mean,
Right.
it was. I thought it was gonna be. It was way more people than I thought it would have been
Where was it? At?
on like the comedy side,
Improv.
like people like that are actually like, you know, up there doing the shit, and also you know, people that are there to see that shit as well. You know, so it was real fun, man. Like the person we went there to see, like, actually went first, and like
How did he hit you up or like?
yeah,
what?
he just hit me like out of nowhere. Matter of fact, it was like maybe about 40 minutes before he came to school me. Like, so it was like out of like nowhere, random shit. You know what I mean? Like, and I was just like, all right, bet. And
Doctor Strange.
shit, nigga, he kept the crispy boys going. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Got some wings and shit in that bitch. Like, it was nice, nigga. Like, and like I said, it was like a lot funnier. Like, I had a real good ass time. Like, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's some shit you gotta take a female. Like, yo, if you want to go on a good dates, man, go to open mics, man. Open mics is underrated. Yo, we gotta like start like hitting them shits up all the time.
I'm down.
'Cause I
I've
want to
got-
do that shit.
I've got material. I'm not saying it'd be good.
I don't
I'm not
got
saying
material,
it'd be
but
easy.
I feel like I could do that shit.
I'm not saying I wouldn't be nervous, but I want to give it a shot. I want to try it out.
How many people were there for? It was open mic night.
I mean, it was open mic. I would say it was maybe about 10 or 12 comedians, some shit like that. One that was actually I say it was like 11 and a half because one was a midget.
that counts. That counts.
That nigga was funny though, and I've seen him before. He was the only person I've seen before. Like,
How many people were in the crowd?
a good 40. Which is what, hey, yo, it was some Liberian looking lady that worked there, man. I asked Alan, yo, she was bad as fuck, man. Because I forgot, I don't know, I felt like she told me to shh. You know, but like, I wasn't like, not during the show or something like that. Like, she had handed me, I don't know what the fuck, but I felt like she whipped me in place. Like, that's how stern she looked. Yeah. Ask Alan about that shit. Nah, but it was a good time, man. Like, open mics, definitely, I'm going to start going to those shits. Like, because during the week, that's when it happens.
Well, it's a really good form of live entertainment.
Oh, for sure, because it's great people watching as well, too.
Good people watching. Some people suck, though. You've seen a lot of like that.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, because there's people who I've been to some ones in Houston where they're like a little bit smaller. I think improv's like a bigger one.
Oh, yeah, yeah. If you that's like, I mean, if you have a show at the Improv or whatever, that's pretty big no matter how big the show
Yeah, the
is.
Yeah.
A-listers go there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
improv's a big club, but I've been to some
That's
spots
like McDonald's of comedy.
for
you know?
sure. And then so people will get like they do the dares, so they get really drunk and like their friends are there and they don't really have anything like any jokes, which is cool. But some people are just like they're super drunk and all they're doing is like cursing, and that's just there's no funny thing about it. But it is cool because even at those open mic ones, you'll see people who are like local comedians, and you can tell they have sets, like they're practicing it and getting it like better and better.
Oh yeah, that's
cool
where you work
like
your work your craft for sure. Because the little dude, his name's actually, I remember, is Clint Shorter. Matter of fact, that's his name. And
Apropos,
like I seen him before at St. Dane's or whatever, and like he was like good then, but he kind of had like the same routine though, like you know what I'm saying, like he kind of had like so I could see that he's trying to like, you know what I mean, like actually like
he had a set, he was
he's working a set out or whatever, because that was years ago. I mean that was like 4 or 5 years ago. What the fuck, I mentioned St. Dane's, y'all niggas like cringed up like y'all.
I still actually haven't been, but
I ain't been to St. Dane's in years, bro.
I've heard plenty of things.
There's just different stories about that place. It's
You say
crazy.
teenage. When you say teenage, how old are we
100 or
talking?
some shit.
Yeah, that bar was that like they're.
Is it still open or is it still called that shit?
It's still there. I'm pretty sure it's still there. I like stand up because you'll see people trying something new out. It's genuine, and I actually kind of like it. Some people will make me laugh. I like live music is very hit or miss. I feel like certain genres like rock, maybe country, like the unknown stuff, I think you can do fine with like a cover band. Anything outside of that, like pop or like I wanna rock and roll all night, that kind of shit. Oh,
that's just
no.
karaoke.
I can't stand karaoke either. Though.
I hate karaoke.
Karaoke is the all-time cock blocker, by the way.
You think so?
I mean, I feel like a lot
How
of
you
times.
figure?
If a girl's like, "Oh, we're going to karaoke," and I say this being married to somebody that loves karaoke, so that doesn't apply. Because we're married, that don't apply. But I feel like every other situation
I'm not
I've
gonna
been,
lie. I will say this: if I had to go see someone do karaoke or like with someone like for karaoke and shit, Emily would be that person.
yeah, she
Like,
brings
for
the
sure.
energy.
Like,
She brings the energy.
for sure.
And if
like,
she's got people there that are like somewhat on the fence about doing it, she'll convince them, and then they'll get into it. I've seen people that I'm like, I can never imagine them doing karaoke up to giggling and shit, doing karaoke. Like, nah. But outside of that, that's cool because that's fun. That's a good time, whatever. And like, that's not like I'm talking more so like early on in the relationship or just first dating or like, let's say you haven't been with a chick yet. If you go to karaoke, I just feel like it's not happening that night because it's very awkward.
No, there's two things that can happen. You can look like a stud and like do it like super funny or really well and come out real positive in her eyes, or probably 75% of the time you look like a tool. Like there's no way you come out looking cool in it.
Well, yeah, there's that, which I mean, or you just don't do it. I think it's like
lose-lose.
why are you there? There's really no winning. It's
a lose-lose.
100%.
Sure. Like I could never.
And then you have to be around.
Matter of fact, I did that shit with my girlfriend for like my ex-girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? But like this was probably 7 years into our relationship, and I was like, nah. Like they're like one song, and I was like, nah, I'm never ever doing that again.
The reason I brought it up is because it makes me think about cover bands, right? And like I said, I can listen to, or y'all brought up karaoke, but I can listen to somebody doing like cover band country music because it doesn't sound terribly different to me. But anytime you do like the pop kind of shit, like anytime I go to a wedding and they're like the best part of the ad libs because every cover band has like their little ad libs.
They want to make it their own.
Yeah, especially if it's like the leading talent is like a woman singer. Come on, Houston, and you're just kind of like, oh, like a cringeworthy, the cheesy.
Just getting ready for next weekend for that band that they have at the party, Christmas party. Every year.
Well, that's what I was telling him. Like, it's not terrible. They're not terrible, but like cover bands in general are kind of awkward. And I love the best part though is the people watching, because there's always like the couple of guys that get too drunk. There's always the one guy who's by himself, drunk, standing in the front of the dance floor, holding his beer, like, yeah, like way too into it, huh?
That's usually me.
But like, it's just you see the guy. It's all like Stanley, who works in IT or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, you see him like, yeah, like Stanley loves cover bands. I don't know if
Yo, do y'all
Stanley's
be inviting like the janitors and shit?
Hell yeah. Yes.
Them niggas get wide.
Yes. So speaking of, we had our boy come out there a couple years ago. We went, good old Robert. And man, I'm telling you, he had like a zoot suit on, like past his knees. He had his lady with him, but yeah, dressed to the nines. They show up, man.
Nigga had a
Some of them,
Steve
dude.
Harvey suit on.
He did. Spider-Man was out there too. Remember, he had that 3-piece suit on.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yo, it's always a nigga named Spider-Man at work, like somewhere, like for real, like in every city, every hood, it's always a nigga named Spider-Man. I
We
swear.
came up with it.
I don't know
even.
why.
Oh, so this is
It's
how it
always
came up.
different reasons.
There's like one of the new like, you know, groundskeeper admin type dudes, just kind of keep everything tight, you know, like not landscaping but like everything, facilities. He
But a
started
specialty in landscaping.
he did love yards. He'd be like, "Hey, look, I used to mow these fields like rice and stuff." But like he was proud about it. It was kind of cool though,
Yeah,
because
it's cool,
it's
'Cause,
like
I think he said his
Yeah, it's like,
his-
because who the fuck is into that type
well,
shit?
his passion job was he wanted to work for like a stadium, like growing the grass. Like that's cool because when you see somebody who's like so passionate about, it, no matter what it is, like even that like grass to him is something that's like he really is into. It's cool. He's someone
Sounds like
passionate.
Tommy
fulfilling.
Chung.
Like he has to he has to feel fulfilled, you know, like doing that. Like it's the simple things, and I don't mean simple as like, oh, it's a simple mind. Like there's a lot of complexities. If you ask, I can't keep my grass green, you know. But like when you know how to do that, it's kind of like how I get like geeky with coffee and stuff. It's that same thing where you can speak to it passionately, and it's just like second nature for you. You're gonna always feel fulfilled in that kind of a role, but. Reason why he's Spider-Man is he always looked approachable, and I always felt like he wanted to talk to us, like hang out kind of thing. He's kind of an old head because he's like probably like what 40 now.
Yeah.
It's a little bit older than us,
40 water.
like just older than us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he one day I was walking by him outside, and he goes, "Hey, look at this." And he had like a spider in like a jar or something like that. He goes,
What the
I
fuck?
caught this spider, and I was like, it was a huge one. And I was like, oh shit, man. He goes, I'm gonna go look at it now. That was Spider-Man from that point on. And it's funny too because he's real religious, and every time we see
This
him,
is wild,
he's always like, I'm
man.
gonna pray for y'all because he knows we be in the shits.
Origin story of Spider-Man.
Origin story.
Yeah, that nigga probably really is Spider-Man and shit. Y'all ever think about that? Like, because it could be like real like vigilantes and shit out there. Like, but who are those people really? But you like there'll be people that you never will think.
Right.
Like the lady that you made me call and shit.
Tawana.
Tawana.
I had him call Tawana the other day.
Yeah.
That's a good.
She would just openly sexually harass Jamal.
And then all these people from work would just walk by, and just be
Nod,
like,
like walk past her. Hello.
It's cool.
She's playing Brick Breaker on her phone. Shout out. She might be listening. Shout
Yo, I
out.
told her to
Hopefully.
listen, man.
Shout
Like,
out.
yo, I tell everybody to listen, man. That's why sometimes I gotta like hold my tongue because I don't want to be talking shit about everybody.
If y'all are listening, add us on Twitter. Let us know what's going on.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think.
This shit called Don't Add Me, but we be wanting y'all ants. Like, deep down.
For real, deep down, we be
Deep
like,
down,
where they
we
at?
be like, yo, where them ants at? Where they at, though? Yo, y'all seen this Eminem versus Nick Cannon shit lately?
Nah, I saw it on the docket.
Yo, like, all right, so I haven't even like watched that shit because I kind of want to like wait and shit, but then we got hung up with doing like that shit, so I didn't want to show y'all. So maybe that's some like shit that like I don't know. We could come, but it apparently like Nick Cannon made
They're
like
fighting?
hit it up. Yeah, like I don't.
Or, like,
They,
it's
they,
like-
they've had a beef.
They've had a beef
kind
for,
of
Mariah
talking
Carey.
back and
yeah,
forth.
the Mariah Carey thing, you know,
Yeah.
like
And like they've had like one-liners in a song or two about each other, but I guess now Nick Cannon came out with like a whole like a burn track or whatever.
yeah,
and everybody's
like, hit him up with like all his wild and out.
yeah,
niggas
but
and
everybody's
shit.
but already people are hashtagging R.I.P. Nick because they're like
Oh,
they're saying that when
no.
Eminem comes back at him, it's gonna be just he's gonna destroy him.
Hey, but like nah, like Eminem did do something that like if he made Nick Cannon rap, that's fucked up, bro. Because like that's something nobody wants to hear. You know what I mean? Like nobody want to hear this nigga Nick Cannon fucking be talking and shit, like rapping and shit. This nigga hosts like nigga the Mad Singer and like dumbass shit like
He's
that.
like on 5 shows.
Nigga own like Nickelodeon or something. I don't know, man. Like that's it. It's just crazy to like. First of all, this rap beef is so stupid nowadays.
Yeah.
Like it don't amount to shit. The like rappers end up being cool. Like
Well, it's weird. Like the Pusha T and Drake thing. People are like, "Oh, he murdered Drake. He talked about his kid." I'm like, what? Like, how is that offensive?
When put the music, Pusha T won that shit to me.
Well, yeah, but my question is like, people are like, "Oh, R.I.P. He said he had a kid." How is that? Like, I mean, maybe I'm in the world where I just
I don't know.
operate
Nobody
under the
knew Drake had a kid until like that shit came out.
But how is that like a diss? Like, okay, I just operated in the assumption
have you
they
seen
probably all have
the baby
kids.
mama?
Nah.
This is lady I used to like follow back in the day. This is one of them early follows. You know what I'm saying? Yo, stupid thick but mad ugly. Yo, she looked like she got slapped in the face with a sack of nickels. You know what I'm saying?
I thought Drake had a kid with that porn star. Is that
She's not a porn star, bro. She was mad early on the OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying?
OnlyFans.
Like nah, for real. She seriously. That's exactly like that's. She was like the pioneer of like Instagram OnlyFans type shit.
Don't get
She's
us
like not
started
really
on
a
that.
porn star. You know what I'm saying? Like like you know what I'm saying? Like I think the only thing you can like find on her is her like fucking a like dildo or some shit. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's
like,
still a lot.
But she like mad thick though, you know. But she mad ugly though, fam. Like I'm not gonna lie though, I done jagged to that, you know. But that was like before, like way mad before Drake like even got a whiff of that. You know what I mean?
Before.
Yo, that's one thing like I kind of want to be on early and shit. Like
What's that?
Like just.
Do you have like a hit list? Okay.
Yes, I do.
You have like a wish list. Like I
do,
can't wait
yes.
until these titties come out.
Nah, not even like it's like you know I can't wait till like I get around these titties. You know what I mean?
So like, you mean like a real life? Like you're gonna see them?
Yeah.
Okay, that was
Yeah. I mean,
I was asking.
You mean like with jagging and shit? I mean, titties.
Well,
are
no,
out.
not jagging. I'm saying like, let's say
jagging.
You're like there's got like I already know. I mean, I can't see any scenario where she does pull him out, but I know you probably would be wishing like Joy Taylor might, have something.
Yo, no, first of all, don't disrespect my woman.
Hey,
like
but
that.
she always putting the thirst traps on Twitter.
Yo,
though.
all right, she do.
Come on, outfit of the day.
She does.
I
do
throw
that
them likes
a
though,
lot, man. I do throw them likes. Sometimes I be throwing a retweet in there. You know what I mean? Like, nigga,
Jamal, you need to check out Joy Taylor. She's the truth. If you haven't seen it yet. Colin Cowherd's show.
She's the commentator on there.
Yeah. So she's like, I mean, I guess she's mixed, right? I think their
Oh,
parents.
that motherfucker just fine.
She's Jason Taylor's sister, the football player.
Oh,
yeah.
The motherfucker just fine though.
Anyway,
what's her name again?
Joy Taylor.
Joy Taylor. Okay.
Joy Taylor, shout out. Joy Taylor fan club T-shirts.
If you listening,
Yo,
free
Joy
T-shirts
Taylor
your
stand,
way.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, fuck Molly. You know what I mean? We beefing. Fox
We got
Sports.
stickers
Brett.
made.
I do.
At us, but only if you at us.
Nah, for real. Joy Taylor fan club though.
I thought you meant like, so there's some.
Nah,
Maybe I'm getting too deep into it, but like there have to be some like, okay, let's say like a actress or somebody that's like getting closer and closer to revealing some stuff. You're kind of like one day, and you want to be. I'm looking at Jamal, huh?
Like one day those.
Yeah,
Do
you have a
I
like
feel
a wish
like
list?
Nah, because it'll come regardless.
Me
I feel like you
neither.
don't even
Next
have to
subject.
you don't even have to have a wish list. You know what I mean?
All right, so abrupt subject change, but there's a reason for this, and it kind of ties together. So when you mentioned the half the stories we've talked about, how are you finding out about these stories?
What stories?
Like what are your sources? Like where are you
For
learning
news.
about this information and stories and like
Oh, fucking just social media, obviously.
social media? So social media is one. I usually get my gripes from that, but also looking at like Apple News and like the stories and they're all aggregated and shit like that.
All
you
the
know
shit
what I mean?
that pop up on my shit be political.
Well, see, that's
I always undo the.
Well, that's
they
the
force
thing.
it on you.
Well,
They
that's-
force the politics.
well, that's the thing with those Google News and Apple News. Like I use Google News.
I feel like
and-
politics is the only real news, though.
Yeah, I'm
No,
out.
but you can dislike what you don't want to see anymore.
I
and they
did
won't-
that, and there was like 28,000 times. I'm like, I don't care about impeachment. Get it out of here.
Because mine just gives me, on Google News, it just gives me all the stories that I'm interested in. And once you click it, they'll keep giving you more stories
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. So I don't really get any too many politics stuff on mine. So that's nice. Cause it's,
Well, Google. Maybe I need to check out Google News because I'll go to
nice.
Apple News and it's kind of like a stumble upon where like you choose your topics, right? But you have some of those topics like I'll look
Damn,
at
you
stuff.
took it back with Stumble Upon.
I love-
Fuck.
Stumble
Yo,
Upon
these
was one of
youngsters
my
don't know about
favorites.
Stumble Upon, man.
Hey, Stumble Upon and Vine were like the two tragic losses we
Damn.
had from our generation.
Yo, 2012, 2013,
Man,
that shit was wild.
That was also like I feel like, well, maybe a few years before that was like peak Tumblr, but it was still pretty popular then, I'd say.
yeah.
you don't.
But
I feel like you don't need to have Vine come back. That,
Yo, isn't it weird that like the coolest places, like for the past decade, ain't even like real places?
what do you mean?
It's like on the internet, you know? It's like Vine was so tight. Oh, like, oh,
Meta.
man.
Meta.
Like, that's weird. You know what I mean? Like, but,
MySpace.
cause, I mean,
It's
So
like
it's like a
MySpace is
party,
like
bro.
Midtown because it's like it had a purpose. It was like great for a certain time in life, and then once you're over it, you're like, I'm never touching that again. I don't know my. I
yo,
think I deleted
if
my
they
MySpace.
if they really brought back classic MySpace, I swear to God, I'll drop everything else. and
I would
get on
use
MySpace.
it. I would use
I would
it
drop
right
everything
now.
else,
Yeah, this-
minus Twitter.
we had this your top.
I
7
keep Twitter,
favorites.
but like,
The top 8.
And
Hell
then you
yeah.
had music.
Nigga.
You could pick your music, and you.
That's how I learned HTML.
Oh,
like
really?
changing like the
What?
background and shit.
hell yeah, yo, it was so weird because like I felt like we were that generation that left like MySpace early for Facebook, and
Yeah.
then like we were like, nah, fuck Facebook. Nah, you know what I mean? Like, don't really use that shit. Like, all
Well,
too
Tom, shout out to Tom. He got his coin from selling MySpace, but I guess he didn't really see the big picture. Like, I mean, you look at, and I guess this kind of ties back into the whole aggregator thing. Like, you look at Facebook, and it's basically now in the big data era, data is the commodity. Every business you get in, you should try to get data and sell that shit. Like, because that's what everybody's doing. That's what the market is now. Like, data is just as good as currency. You know, I never knew until recently UPS can scan things and email it to you. I don't know if they have my email address
like
on
your
file.
packages.
Well, packages are a little bit different, but let's say it's like
Yeah, I was gonna say, how the fuck they gonna email you your packages?
right, but like, you know, like letters or anything like that. Like you can have people scan you some stuff like that. But my thing is, I'm like, they're really just trying to get email addresses now so they can sell that data. They're not going to come out and say it.
For sure.
the saying.
That's what
now-
all companies want, bro.
Well, the
Email
saying-
addresses.
The saying now is data is gold. That's like that they say data
It
is
is.
data is everything. But I mean, also let's look at it as like from that mile high view. Does it really matter? Like everything
No.
everything that comes from it is for a consumer aspect to try to make
That's
it better
everything.
buying for you.
Well, and maybe we're on like one side of the coin because we work within, you know,
But that's-
utilizing data to where like I look at it for my own purposes, right? I can't tell you how many. I'm a sucker for Instagram ads. That's my medium that pulls me in. But it's never anything like important. It's just like food, you know, drinks, like coffees and shit like that. But I see stuff on Instagram, like for example, I get thrown into a list, right? Or they're looking at my interests and they're like, he likes that millennial shit. Like he likes those millennial sandwich shops and shit like that. So I get ads like that all the time, and I just keep finding new sandwich spots because they fucking know.
Yo,
they fucking know.
That's my point. It's like
But
it
I like it.
works. Like
It
They
works
know
for
that
me.
this
That's-
nigga
it
loves
works.
sandwiches.
And the whole goal of the companies like Google, I don't know if this is true or just what they're saying, but if it's just what they're saying, it's a good BS, but it's still beneficial. They want somebody to search something and find an answer in as little time as possible. So to do that, they comb through all this data. They get this algorithm so that you find that shit instantaneously. Not quite, but, you know, in their ideal, right? The same for, like, social media ads. I've stumbled upon several places that I now like that I never would have known about except for advertising. Had it not been for advertising, they're showing me things. I would rather have ads by giving my data up, and people can say, "Oh, I'm naive and dumb." I'd rather have ads that are relevant to me that I care about.
Yeah.
Than the opposite side. Of that.
And then here's another reason why. This is where the future is going, right? Like everything is going online. So, you're gonna try to avoid it forever? I mean, data's out there. If you're on Facebook, your data's out there. Every app you have, there's a thing in the terms that's saying something about sharing your data. Nobody reads the terms. You just click yes and want to use the product. What they're doing is then selling that information. But most of the time, it's for the better of trying to make a better product for you. So, I mean, most of them have AI now to where they learn what you don't like, and when you do like, that's why you're supposed to interact with a little bit. So
that's why they listen to us.
That's weird. The listening to us is weird.
But they're doing
it.
You know that because Alexa's probably doing
us though, like for real.
Well,
like,
Facebook Messenger was the one that had. I think they announced we were listening, but just for like dictation, so that it would improve captioning or something like that.
Nah, like give me like
that's the story.
Let's say Stella Artois like 40 times within the next like
40
minutes. And like I bet when we look down at our phone, we have fucking ads for Stella Artois.
Those are the crispy boys we're drinking on right now are Stella Artois. We are not paid sponsors.
I'm like,
but like, hey, if y'all want to sponsor us, we're down. But yeah, let's see, because I am curious about that. But it's all, hey, let's comb through the data. Let's, and they have machine learning that does all that shit now. But it's the same fucking thing that you see with these aggregated blogs like Apple News and shit like that. They know what you like, and sometimes they'll force stuff on you. Like I swear I've unliked political news a million times. I still get that. But anything else I unlike, it won't show. But that is pretty much breeding the outrage culture that we have today. Because just like you said, the places that we used to go are digital. People are home, bored, sometimes alone. They'll go just read through the shit. How many times do you see people look at Facebook and just like read on other people's gossip and comment on it? It's the same principle.
Yeah,
these aggregators are like, you're going to get pissed off. You're going to comment on it. And, that's why people are so headline driven.
It's one of my favorite things to do is go to like Yahoo News or anything like that. Find an article about politics and then go to comments and just look at the first 30.
I do that shit.
It's so much fun because
on YouTube,
if you see an article about something controversial, if I see something like police did something, if I see something about politician on the right did this or the left did this, or guns, if it's something about guns, like there's a law on new guns, I go to comments and it's like it's so polar opposites.
It's so weird how it's
what they talk to each other about.
Like how
it's so funny.
It's
not. You never see a comment like "good story" or "makes sense." Author writes good or "I'm really into this." More articles like this. It's always like. It's always way over the
racist.
Yeah, it's racist.
Hate talk.
And they'll go like, look who it is, and they always do that. And you're like, wow, people are they're just so mad. Like, I never even think about commenting on a story, like
ever.
To like go and write that. There are millions of people who are just bored with life.
Everybody wants an audience.
You know what's weird? Like, I think too many people kind of like have an opinion. And shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, we all have an opinion, but now we actually have a microphone, a keyboard.
Exactly. Or you have the ability to talk to celebrities.
In theory, you could talk to everybody in the world,
and they can message you back. And it's like everybody thinks that their opinion counts, and you're like,
yeah.
I mean, everybody's does, but also like sometimes
you
just it doesn't. That's
it does.
You ever like find yourself in like an internet fight? Like were you
yeah. One time me and Mike got one with a baby with a baby picture on Instagram.
So I think it was like some random baby or something. 50 Cent was like,
it was like one of those ugly baby memes, and they had like a comment, and then 50 Cent put it on Instagram and made like a funny joke about it.
Yeah,
right. He said like, if I had this ugly baby, I'd smack it too or something, right?
Something like that.
So me and Mike are like, it's 2,000 comments deep. Me and Mike write a comment like that is an ugly baby, all these things, and. Later on, I ended up getting messaged by the aunt of the lady of the baby. She said she was the baby's aunt, and then she got the mom on it. And she started talking crap to us,
And we were like, Badikas Bananas. She said, shut your Badikas Bananas looking.
and it was funny because she was like, with your gay ass, and I went to my Instagram account. And I had all these pictures of me with like a mustache and a bunch of dudes. I was like, man, it's and a couple of drawings that I did. I was like, oh, Mike, I'm out this argument. You gotta take this one solo.
She got me, son. She
me,
got
son.
me, son. Yo, that's funny, man. Nah, like sometimes they be getting your ass. You know what I mean? Like
You get into
people
it.
in comments, man, it's funny as fuck, bro. Cause like most of the shit, like how you asked originally, like what was the shit that like done to like figure out like the type of gripes and shit that I get. Like it's usually like Twitter, fucking YouTube or some shit. That's all I really do though. Is like
Well, the funny thing is, it's all self-fulfilling.
Yeah.
You like it, you comment, you start getting all of the, the stories like that follow you around. And think about it. Those idiots that are commenting back and forth on like the political articles, like, oh, racist, you're an idiot, of course. That article is now getting more views because it's being engaged with. People are commenting on it. Now it's trending. More and more people look at it. More and more people interact with it. It is self-fulfilling. And that's why we have outrage culture today. That instant gratification, that need for that, oh, I just need to be heard. That's why we have the society we have today.
I mean, look what the podcast is. We outraged about outrage culture. You know what I mean?
Pretty much. I mean, we're bitching about bitching.
Yeah. But y'all stop bitching, and then like we wouldn't even have to do anything. We could just be chilling. But now we gotta do it. No, yo,
We're just trying to put people on.
Speaking of, but like shit, like it's some shit you gotta bitch about. Like me personally, I feel like I gotta bitch about this Lizzo shit, man. Yo, Lizzo gotta chill out here, man. Like she gotta sit her fat ass down somewhere, man. I'm not
cold blood.
She confident with her. It's like she'll try to cap back if I felt like if I was on the street, I call her fat to her face.
But isn't it also too much? Because I saw her like at a basketball game.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's like
at the Lakers game.
in the thong doing the twerk.
Bro, like,
but you don't see girls. You don't see skinny girls doing it either. So just because you're a little overweight doesn't mean you gotta throw them cheeks out.
Bro, first of all, that's just
be confident, but
that shit. Bitch, you unhealthy. First of all, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nothing like. It ain't no like, confident or, black is beautiful, no shit like that. Like, you unhealthy and you promoting this unhealthy lifestyle. You being fucking, just, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just tired of it. We got to cancel her. We got to get her the fuck out of here.
Cancel her.
Like,
well, it's kind of like
that's the first person I've ever really felt about like this. Like,
well, what bothers me, though, is like, people... kind of, I guess maybe it's kind of the same with like the aggregator thing. Maybe it's the same thing with like, hey, I need to find people that are down with my cause. People are trying to find like a cause now, like a little.
She's an industry plant.
Yeah,
I feel like those type of people.
Yes,
like
that's why I've always
the
had
industry, the powers that be, whoever the fuck, like they spring that shit on. They spring those type of people onto like the masses. So like they can have this fucking rainbow world, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's why I always had issues with like Jonah Hill or like Melissa McCarthy, that they're like, oh, I'm gonna kind of exploit myself for being like the fat person, and it's not like fat shaming. It's anybody that just goes and like, oh, well, I'm this stereotype, so I'm gonna fulfill this role. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh, you can look at it two ways. You can look at it that, or you can look at it specifically for like those actors that are capitalizing on a niche, right? And that's been always something I've always thought about too. Like when you watch a movie or a TV show, and there's like the ugly girl or the dorky guy, somebody had to like try out for that role. Right, like that's the girl who goes to all auditions as the ugly
weird
girl.
Self-awareness, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like
it's like
I can get this.
Yeah, it's like you have a certain look, and you're just gonna be like, well, shit. I guess I'm gonna make money off it, right? You know what I mean? You've seen those in movies.
You know what I love though is like when you have the really attractive girl playing like the nerdy, like dorky
she's all
girl.
that.
She's all that, bro.
No, like Lake.
Come on, nigga.
Well,
like
took those glasses off, and all of a sudden they're like, wow, she's beautiful.
Instantly, Superman, right? Clark Kent. No, I'm talking more like Lake Bell. Like y'all know Lake Bell?
Nah.
Look up
Put
Lake.
me
You know
on.
Lake Bell. So she always plays that role where she's like extremely attractive, but kind of plays that awkward, like nerdy girl. That I'm cool with. I like the ones that are like, like play somebody that they're not. But I don't like the. I'm trying to think of some other examples. I mean, you just see any actor nowadays.
Like the typecast ones.
Yeah, it's just like, oh well. I mean, like I like Jason Bateman, but he always plays like the same kind of role, and I guess that's just kind of like actors in general. It's just like, oh, I've got this
I feel
niche.
like
it's like a
actors really
dynamic
don't
that
like
just kind of
really
get.
act. They kind of just play themselves now.
Kind of similar to that. That was kind of cool how in Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man with Tom Holland, he doesn't play like dorky, right? Like he plays like a. They don't
feel like
because he
it's
doesn't
no
look like a
real
dorky
teen
guy.
dorky. Like he's like the teen awkward.
But there's
like,
no
not
bully.
awkward.
There's no bully beating him up, or there's nobody like putting him in the lockers like they kind of did Peter Parker, because he's kind of like a better looking guy. So it's kind of like I kind of feel like they're playing him as he's not as losery as he was in the first few movies of Tobey Maguire.
I like when they do like an evolution, like it's like a twisted version, like it's like their own interpretation. Like in theory, spoiler alert, Endgame, y'all probably all seen it by now, but like Tony Stark was this version, this Spider-Man's Uncle Ben. Like he had him die and now he's all, kind of the same theory. I like those original, the original interpretations. Instead of like these just beat the hell out of, just, hey,
familiar.
same thing over and over. Yeah, you've seen her in some movies.
I don't know which ones, but she looked familiar.
What do y'all think about if Michael B. Jordan plays Superman? Thoughts?
I'm not for it. If you're that drastically different from the original interpretation, I just can't. It's not even like a dislike of it, but it's just like, why change it? Like, why would you ever do like a male interpretation of Catwoman, like Catman, like But for real, like it's like that's not true to the story.
Well, I think it's more of like a.
Okay, for one, I think it's pandering, but at the same time, I'm thinking, well, Superman is supposedly an alien from outer space. Like he could be fucking black, he could be Indian, he could be fucking, like.
Here's what I will say.
He could be
this.
any fucking body. He could be a
I
woman.
will say this: what I would love to see if they did do that, it could be like an alternate universe kind of thing. I like when they do that. Like if it's like, white Clark Kent meets black Clark Kent from another like another dimension. And like they have to kind of attack two different doomsdays, shit would be cool.
It'd be cool to see if they did the Green Lantern as a black guy, because he was
John Stewart.
Yeah, he was a black guy. That was so kind of. I'm more of like I'm a comic nerd, so I like to follow like storylines, right? So like if he was in the comics, I'd be like, that's cool with me. But here's the X factor.
Right.
The only way I say it would not the only way, but the way I say it would have been okay, like his door in would have been if they did the Nicolas Cage version, because the Nicolas Cage version was such not like the comics that I've been like, okay, if you make him Superman, you can make anybody Superman.
I think that
you
might be
Superman.
Hell yeah, that might be my number one all time. Like, I wish it actually would have been made.
That documentary is awesome.
Oh my god.
I feel like with like any type of shit like that's make believe. Well, for one, I think that Hollywood, like nowadays, they kind of pander with that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You think everybody's
let's just make this person like this color, or like let's push this strong female lead type shit.
Studios all about making money, so if they find a thing to jump on that's a social issue that they know,
they do that shit
about,
all the time, and like
that.
sometimes it's like for no reason. It's like, this movie could have been better. Like,
here's what I'll say. Go with one of the original stories or create an original story. I feel like go make Blade the coolest shit ever. Look at Black Panther. Black Panther is everybody's favorite MCU movie.
Right. The thing is with that I see with like the race thing is just like if it's make believe shit, like.
Yeah, because
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If it happened, I wouldn't be like, this is an outrage.
Shit.
Yeah,
but if they had like, you know what I'm saying, like fucking like Tom Hanks playing Malcolm X, like that's some weird shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they had a black guy playing JFK. You'd be like,
you'd be like, yo, what the fuck? Like, what's going on?
But
it would totally be
Mahershala Ali playing that.
I was gonna say Jamie Foxx.
Yeah,
I like Mahershala Ali more.
Yeah, he's more current. That's good.
And he's a good actor, but. No, it is. It's like a made up thing. So it's like it's a creation. So you can kind of.
That'd be like a good. We should get with Neil Brennan, man, because that'd be a good fucking skit to like do. You know what I'm saying? Like a trailer for like a movie, but it's like it's like a historical figure, but they like the totally like opposite race. You know what I'm saying? You got like a Chinese Gandhi or somebody like that. You know what I mean? Like.
Well, the dude who played Gandhi in the movie was actually a white dude, wasn't he?
Ben Kingsley, right?
Is he?
But I don't know what Ben Kingsley
yeah, Ben Kingsley, like he's one of those dudes who's 10
Ain't that nigga like a Vulcan?
He's the
That
Mandalorian,
nigga ain't he ain't spy.
The Mandarin.
Shout out, Steve.
Shout out Steven. Hell yeah. Where is Steve? We need to get
I ain't
Steven
seen
on
that
the
nigga in a
podcast.
long time.
We saw him the other day. He's
Yo,
got
remember
like,
when we was at his crib and his mom was like, "You guys need to go home."
yeah.
Like,
She still ain't
he was like, "Nah, they good."
He was
That
funny,
was a
man.
funny dude, man.
He was. It was weird. Like growing up, I would. So you've never really moved. You've always been like, you've grown up with the same people, right? Chance?
Well, yeah, for the most
Pretty
part.
much, like grade school at least. And Jamal, like, was that the same for you?
Yeah.
I moved around all the time, and it was, I was always in a different district. I mean, I lived in Bel Air, LaPorte. I lived near the Galleria, Sugarland, Cypress. Like growing up, it was all over the place, and it was weird because I found that I would always kind of gravitate to other, I guess not satellites, but people that were in similar situations, like the other new guys, right?
When me and you met, we were the new guys, kind of. I mean, before
We were
in
both
class
new,
together,
yeah,
we used
fourth
to-
grade,
me,
right?
You and Alan used to hang out after school.
Right,
Like that's what like we do. 'Cause, like when he would still go there and shit,
right.
So, but like we would like like we kind of just clicked from there.
Well, it's weird because it was never like I felt unwelcomed by groups. If anything, I felt like I was like a lot of people would just kind of openly invite me in. I
Right.
can't really think of any situations where people didn't just like, hey, assimilate with our crew.
Yeah.
Like whoever it was.
Like
I was,
wasn't like didn't like
they
not try
not
to
cast
size
me
you
out. Yeah.
like,
And but the funny thing is, I always seem to gravitate to other people like that. But I don't understand what that is. Like, why do you think that you have to develop communication skills? You have to be outgoing because you're constantly meeting new people. And I think that's a lot of why I'm outgoing now is because I was always the new guy. I always had to make first impressions all the time, So it was a weird dynamic, but it was like I always seemed to meet and gravitate with other people like that. Like Jock's the same thing.
it's cooler than being the new guy. being the kid that go to another school.
Oh,
Yeah, because if you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
just think if you like the dude to go to another school or like the girl to go to another school, like you like bad.
well, yeah. And it was funny because anytime I moved, I feel like you said before, it seems like Houston. I mean, it's big, but everybody's
That shit's
somehow
small as
connected.
fuck.
We're all somehow
Everybody-
connected.
For real, we all like
There's-
linking up.
I mean,
At
look, all
one
our high
point in
schools
life.
have like 800 people, so you're bound to have some common links, in your graduating class. Though.
No, yeah, it was like
That's what I
it was
meant,
like
my bad.
it was like
Yeah.
800-900.
Graduating
1,000.
class.
So shit.
Hell.
I felt like growing up around here too. You know, like a wide spectrum of people too. I don't know. Like I got siblings and shit, so you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, and we're spread out. Well, I'm in the middle, so between 8 years. You know what I'm saying? It was like school years.
Yeah.
So like I feel like like a lot of people even
Yeah,
just
that's
through that.
true.
It's like so and so little brother, so and so little like sister, some shit like that. It's weird.
Yeah, like it's weird that my little brother dates Gary's girl's friend. You know what I mean? Like they're connected. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That
It would be less. That would be more.
See, that
awkward.
that is crazy.
I mean,
That's
they
wild.
met as
Yeah.
a result. It was more circumstantial, but
Yeah, that's to
when you
say.
think of it
I
that
think it'd
way,
be
But
more
still,
crazier
though,
if they had
that's
met
wild.
not at your house.
right.
Like that would have
right.
been even more nuts. Like that would have been even crazy situation.
Houston's got a lot of scenes, though. Just maybe it's by nature of Houston being just a melting pot. Like a lot of
Yeah.
different cultures. Maybe it's just, hey, you learn so much about other cultures that you start to kind of adopt some of those.
Yeah, like
It'll be like a bunch of people from like one country, and they're like
yeah.
on that
Houston.
block. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like a bunch
yeah.
of restaurants.
Yeah,
too.
I knew a whole bunch of like Filipino people who had like Filipino basketball leagues, Filipino like clubs.
Yeah.
Korean people who came to like kung fu. They had their spots. They always come too. So people just find a way to meet up, and there's just so many different types of people here too. You know,
Tons, like all kinds of different. But that's why that's one. I mean, I bitch about Houston plenty because of the traffic and the weather, but I like it for all of those reasons. You know, you're exposed to a lot of different cultures, a lot of different people, meet a lot of different people. I mean, look, like all of my friends, I have like all kind of different races and ethnicities within my closest friend group.
Hell yeah, man. Especially, when you go to like the gala, you'd be like, man, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, it's crazy at the Galleria, and they have like the tax-free area where people go that are international and they get the tax
you'd
reimbursed.
be mad like foreigner people in the Galleria, like all the time.
Yeah, always at all times.
Yeah.
Like it'll be like a Tuesday, like 10 a.m.
Yo, no, they there,
They
like
live
for real,
there,
with
basically.
like fucking like hoes, like suitcases and shit. You like, what the fuck? What you doing out here? Them niggas out there.
So this is kind of off topic, but it was funny to me. Did y'all see this Walmart sweater?
Oh, that sweater, man! I
Yeah.
want that shit for real.
So
Y'all can
Walmart.
find me that shit, man, for real. Like that's like literally what.
So
I want.
Walmart had this
Christmas.
blue sweater with a snowman hitting with
Shit-
snow, but it
shit
looks
said,
like
"Let it
cocaine
snow."
off a table. Jamal, look, you got to check that out real quick.
I want that shit.
he said I want this.
So they had that on the website. They had to pull it down. But
I heard it's back on. You can get it on eBay now, like one of those sites, but it's like $200 now. So it went from being like a $20.
now it's like a
picture-
novelty.
Yeah, and now you can make bank off it.
It's always like if people find a way to make money off of it, they will.
And how did that get slipped through the cracks to where that was at a Walmart though? That's what's pretty funny. Like, how did that?
They said that it was like from some third party site. I think they tried to play it off like it was like a remarketing ad or something like that.
Do you think somebody put an order in that like worked there? Like somebody was being funny their last day before they moved up to a different position or something? Like,
Maybe.
are they
I
about
mean,
to quit an intern or something?
Something like that. It's always funny. I always wonder, because we work with some interns, not a ton.
Because like people hung up the sweater, right? Like people,
Right.
employees saw that sweater and like put it out. Like,
Well, I think it
this
was
is,
just online. Like
Oh,
they just
okay.
saw it online. But even then, somebody had to have, put that into
like,
their.
that's true. A programmer, somebody had to take it from some website.
I always wonder though, with like the different interns that we've had, like if any of them have ever had like an idea just to like fuck around and like do some dumb shit. They did have the person that I don't know if they ever found out. Somebody that clogged the
Bandit.
toilet. Remember? Not the doo-doo bandit. The one that like clogged the toilet. They were flushing paper towels
The
down.
what Robert got mad about?
Oh, he was sweating. He was so mad. Hey, he was about to take somebody's life. He was through. He was finished. He was like, man, this is some bullshit.
He was ready to throw it all away that day, bro. If you had found the person coming there and making a joke about
Man,
it.
that shit was over. That shit was over. All right, man. We got to wind down. We hit over an hour. Good combo. Good topics.
Good topics.
Good show, always.
First of many episodes. Rate and review us. Hit us up on social media. Listen to Play It By Ear. And tune in next time. Peace.
Peace.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.